Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Just going to wait a quick couple of seconds here to let some people join. So, today was the last day of the parliamentary session before the summer, and we had some votes. We had a little bit of uproar over what the government is doing. The government now, so I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but there were some documents in regards to this Winnipeg lab scenario where the two researchers who were connected to the Communist Party of China were, arrested, basically taken out of here. Um, there's papers that give some more information about what was going on there. The House of Commons requested these papers. The leader of the Public Health Agency of Canada was in contempt of the House of Commons in terms of not, hey Joe, how are you doing? Good to see you. So in any event, the leader of PHAC came to the House of Commons without any papers. There was a very, testy feeling there in the House, and there was, back and forth about it. The government is taking the House of Commons to court to prevent them from having these papers. This has never happened before. I don't even know if it's legally possible. I don't believe it is. This is what the government is doing today. So we'll see where that goes. I think they're in court on this coming Monday. The Speaker of the House is going to have to be in court to defend the House of Commons. Now, the Speaker of the House is a Liberal, but I trust that he will, stand up and defend our rights in the House of Commons, to have authority over these things. I mean, the House of Commons is the highest legislative authority in the land. Okay, we have parliamentary supremacy in this country. That means that the Parliament gets to make the laws. It's true that we have a Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but the Parliament gets to request things like these papers. So, in any event, that was an interesting turn of events. I wanted to give everyone just a brief update, sort of a closure on this parliamentary session here now that we've broke for the summer. So I will be in Ottawa July 1st, and we're seeing a lot of municipalities shut down, their Canada Day celebration. So I don't believe we need to cancel Canada Day. I think we should be proud of our country. Obviously, there's things that you and I are passionately in disagreement about with the way that our government has behaved over the last several years, even longer. But we still are celebrating Canada Day. So anybody who has issues with what the government has done, either currently or in the past, by all means raise those issues. That's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. But we still need to celebrate the fact that we're all in this together, that we're all fighting for a better country. So join me in Ottawa, July 1st, to celebrate Canada Day. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a wrap up here, and it's a bit windy out here, so I apologize if you're hearing some wind noise. So we have seen some of the most, radical left-wing legislation pass in this current session of Parliament. So we've seen Bill C6, which passed yesterday. We've seen Bill C10, which passed a couple of days ago. Bill C12 passed last night. Bill C19, which was the pandemic election with the mail-in ballot stuff. C21 and C22 have not yet passed. C21 is the bill there to crack down on gun rights for legal gun owners. Bill C22, oddly enough, is eliminating mandatory minimums on many penalties, but many of which relate to gun crime. So, these are the type of bills that we've been seeing here in this Parliament. Bill C6, of course, had to do with banning conversion therapy. And, on the surface, that sounds like a good thing to do. But I'm telling you, when you look into the specifics on this, and I've written a lot about this, I've spoken a lot about this, it's just crazy what they're doing. Parents could go to jail over this just for, for example, trying to encourage their child to accept the body they're born in. I mean, this is the type of thing that we're dealing with C6. C10, of course, various concerns with censorship on the internet. C12 is net zero by 2050. Okay, so these are things that are not going to help the environment. They're going to hand more manufacturing jobs to China. They're going to destroy our native industries here in Canada. We have Bill C-19, which had to do with the election readiness during a pandemic. It has to do with mail-in ballots, things like that. We have C-21. C-21 is not passed yet. That has to do with restricting rights for legal gun owners. Bill C-22, on the other hand, is making less penalties for criminals who actually commit gun crimes. So, we're just seeing all kinds of things. There's another bill that was on the order paper today with respect to, as far as I can understand, I haven't seen a copy of it yet, basically allowing the web giants to censor anything that they determine to be hate speech. So, God help us with that. I mean, this is the type of stuff that we are seeing. Thank goodness that we've risen for the summer so that there can't be any more of this type of legislation passed. So, in any event, I appreciate your support in this during this session that we've had. It's been a wild ride. And so Shar is just talking about, wasn't there a father jailed regarding conversion therapy? So yes, there's a friend of mine that was jailed, and he was jailed because he went to court to prevent his daughter from transitioning. So his daughter was 14 at the time, and she wanted to transition, from a female to a male, if that were possible. It's not really, but they give them hormones and all this type of thing. So he went to court to try and stop his underage daughter from, going through with this. He wasn't able to do that. Furthermore, the court initially said that he couldn't even call her a she or a her anymore, that he had to, call her by masculine pronouns. That was overturned on appeal. But because he was speaking out against this, and they also slapped the whole case with a, do not talk about this order. And so he started talking about it, as any father would and should, and he was put in jail for that. And of course he's out now. And but just these are the types of things that we're seeing, and it's very radical. It is not. It is not fair. It is not fair to Canadians. It's not fair to parents. Not fair to kids. This is the type of thing that we're seeing. So yes, I voted against that Bill C-19 with mail-in ballots. I was the only person out of 338 parliamentarians to vote against it. I was happy to do so. So this is what we're seeing. Thank goodness now we're on summer break. Now, listen, guys, on the bright side, notwithstanding all the stuff that we're seeing, all these bills passing, we are seeing traction on the stuff that we care about. That press conference that we did last week with those whistleblowing doctors is the most viewed CPAC video of all time, by far. In 2 days it was. Now it's more than double the next video down there. The video that was the most viewed video had been up for 7 years. This one beat it in 2 days. So this is, we're getting traction. We are getting so much exposure on these things. We're going to keep doing that. I'm going to be doing some traveling this summer, so just keep an eye on my Facebook page. If you haven't signed up for my emails yet, please do that. If you go to dereksloan.ca, sign up for my emails. The reason I'm asking you to do that is because, when I go to different places, to attend events, I might send out an email to people in that area to let them know what I'm doing. So just sign up there to keep up to date with what I'm doing. And yes, so I'm going to be continuing to travel, continuing to raise awareness on these. I'm definitely working with people, trying to, bring all of us together into one solid movement to fight back against what we're seeing here. So I've issued another call yesterday to whistleblowers in the media. So anyone in the media that wants to come forward, they should do that. We will keep their information confidential. We are looking to do another press conference again in the summer as more whistleblowers come forward. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. We've already heard, when we did our conference, you saw some of the whistleblowers that we had. There are so many others that have come forward as well. And we didn't have time to tell all their stories, but it's just, remarkable to see what we're seeing with everybody coming forward. So thank you so much for listening today. So the CPAC video, thanks for that, Graham. So if you just search in Google CPAC Derek Sloan, you will see a video that's entitled MP Derek Sloan Raising Concerns About Censorship. It has about 550,000 views. I want you to go onto YouTube and find it there and share it with people. Another thing I want to let you guys know, yesterday in the House of Commons, I asked the minister, the Liberal minister, if they would like to denounce Facebook and Twitter for censoring the CPAC videos. So some people, when they tried to share that YouTube video, they couldn't. And also, when I was doing my live stream, they shut it down. Oh, you know what, Jennifer? Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot entirely about that. So they also passed the bill. I'm forgetting the number off the top of my head, but it enacted the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People into law. And I did vote against that. The issue, of course, is that you know, these pronouncements and so on are nice and they sound good and all that, but we already have constitutional protections here for Indigenous in this country. And the issue with the UNDRIP is that it puts even further into question the rights of provinces and others to, you know, finish their resource projects. So there's a lot of concern about whether enacting UNDRIP into legislation is going to make it even harder to get resource projects through. I mean, it's already very hard to get them done with the Liberals' legislation. All of the Western premiers there wrote in against it, saying, listen, we need to take more time to look at this. So that was another thing that passed. So I just want to say, going back to this press conference, I asked a question to the minister. Is she against the fact that we're being censored? And you can go on my Facebook page and see her answer, but her answer was shameful. Her answer was wrong. She basically said, well, you know, if Facebook is shutting you down, then, maybe you should rethink what you're saying. Listen, Facebook was shutting people down for saying things that went against the government narrative. You know, for people who were saying, you know, this virus comes from China, they used to be getting shut down until Joe Biden came out and said, listen, we're having our security agencies look into this. Right. So all of a sudden, as soon as, you know, the government says, oh, we're looking into it, then it's OK. I mean, this is ridiculous. Social media should not be an arm of the government. They shouldn't be only pushing government narratives. They should allow anybody in a democracy to be putting forward their views, to be putting forward their ideas, particularly when they're professionals. I mean, everybody should be able to have their own view. But when we're seeing professionals, doctors, nurses, and others come out and say things that are troubling, that are, you know, if true, absolutely damning, then they must allow that to go forward. That's how democracies work. They work by different ideas coming out, by debate, by argument. So that is what we're seeing. And I asked the minister this, and then I put forward a motion in the House of Commons to censure, not censor, but censure Facebook and Twitter for what they did, and that was shot down by the Liberals. So you can go on my Facebook page. Yeah. So who opposed that motion? It was the Liberals that did it. They said no, they would not support it. So go on to my Facebook page, take a look at what happened yesterday, take a look at the video, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great evening. Listen, let's thank God that the Parliament has risen. There won't be any more crazy bills passed this summer, and we can tour, we can gather, we can fight the lockdowns together. We can fight on the battle lines that we've been fighting on. Thank you so much. I'm just getting started. I'm not going anywhere. We will not stop until we take Canada back. Thank you so much. God bless you and God bless Canada.